Welcome to video lesson 7.4, the extension on repeating decimals. And in this lesson, we're going to learn how to write repeating decimals as fractions. Okay. Here are the steps in order to be able to write any repeating decimal as a fraction. So we're going to let x equal the repeating decimal d. Okay. So we're going to write an equation, x equals the repeating decimal. Okay, that's our first equation. Then we're going to multiply each side of the equation by 10 to the n, okay, which forms a new equation, and n is a number of repeating decimals. So if there's one repeating digit, then it would be 10 to the 1, which is equals 10. If there's two repeating digits, then it would be 10 to the 2, which would be 100. And then you'd have to simplify that. Then you'll subtract the original equation from the new equation. So you'll subtract, start with the step 2 equation and subtract the step 1 equation. That's what you're really doing in step 3. And in step 4, you're just solving for x. And then you'll have your repeating decimal as a fraction. Now let's actually put that into an example for you. So for example 1, we're going to try to write 0.4 repeating as a fraction in simplest form. Our first step is to write the equation. So x equals 0.4 repeating. All right. Now, because there's one repeating digit, we're going to multiply each side by 10 to the 1, or 10. So that's where this comes in. 10x equals 10 times 0.4 repeating. Now we need to simplify that. Okay, so that's just 10x equals, okay, 4.4 repeating. That's what 10 times 0.4 repeating is. Now, for step 3, we need to subtract the original equation. So we start with our simplified equation from step 2, and then we subtract our original equation, x equals 0.4 repeating. And we subtract. Now we're going to get 9x equals 4. Okay. And in step 4, we need to solve this for x. So if we have 9x equals 4, to get x by itself, we need to divide by 9, and we get x equals 4 ninths. Okay, so 0.4 repeating as a fraction in simplest form is 4 ninths. That doesn't really look very neat. My 9's a little slim, so there we go. All right. Example 2, we're going to write negative 0.23, just the 3 repeats, as a fraction in simplest form. So our first step, okay, remember, is to write the equation x equals negative 0.23 repeating. So we just write x equals whatever that repeating decimal is. All right. Now, in step 2, we have to see if we're going to be multiplying by 10 or by 100. And if we multiply by 10, if there's only one digit repeating, which in this case there is, only the 3 is repeating. So we have only one digit is repeating. So we're going to multiply each side of the equation by 10 because there's only one digit repeating. All right, so then we're going to take 10 times x, and that equals 10 times negative 0.23 repeating. Simplify this, so 10x equals negative 2.3 repeating. Okay. Now in step 3, we need to subtract the original equation. All right, so that means we're going to take 10x equals negative 2.3 repeating minus x equals negative 0.23 repeating. Okay. And what that equals then, lining up the decimal points, okay, so we have 9x equals negative 2.1. Okay. All right. Now, step 4 is just to solve for x. to divide each side by 9. Okay, and x equals negative 2.1 over 9. Now we want this in simplest form. So we can't have a decimal inside a fraction. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply each one by 10. So then we have 21 over 90. And then we see if we have any like terms. Okay, and 3 can go into each one of these, 21 and 90. So we divide each side by 3, and then that equals negative 7/30. Okay, so there's can be a lot of simplifying in step 4 as well, right? Because we can't have a decimal and a fraction all in a fraction. If that happens, then we just multiply each one by 10, okay? So we can eliminate that decimal. Now example 3, we'll notice number 1, it will be a mixed number because we have a whole number there and then the fraction. And we also now have 2 digits that are repeating, okay? So our first step is to let x equal 1.25 repeating. I'm not going to write out all of our steps this time. I'm just going to show you kind of like what you would do when you're doing the work, okay? So that's our first equation, x equals 1.25 repeating. Since we have 2 digits repeating now this time, we're going to have to multiply each side by 100 because that's 10 squared is 100. Okay, and when we do that, we have 100x equals 125.25 repeating. Okay, basically you're moving the decimal point 2 places over. Okay, and now we have to subtract the original equation. Okay, when we subtract, we really should be lining up the decimal points. So we have, oops, not 90. 100x minus 1x is 99x equals 124. All right, and then we're going to divide by 99. So x equals 1 and 25/99 when we rewrite that as a mixed number. Okay, so it would be 124/99, and we can simplify that to 1, and then 124 minus 99 is 25 over 99. Okay, so 1.25, repeating 25, is 1 and 25/99. All right. Here you have 6 practice problems. Okay, remember for 1, 2, and 3, actually 4 as well, there's only 1 repeating decimal. So, or 1 repeating digit, I should say. So you're going to be multiplying all of those second equations by 10. And in 5 and 6, you have 2 repeating digits, so you'll be multiplying that original equation by 100 to get your second equation. Okay, please make sure you write down any questions that you have. Okay, also there is a little trick only for when you just have 1 digit repeating. Okay, the fraction is always going to be over 9 and whatever that digit is. So number 1 will end up being 1/9 if you do it correctly. Okay, number 2 will end up being 5 and 8/9. And you can probably guess then what number 3 will be. Now that only works when you have just the 1 digit repeating like that. So it won't work for number 4. All right. But that's a little quick hint that will help you as well. But you still need to show all of your steps. And please make sure you ask any questions. Thank you. Have a great day.